Hi, hello again, and here's the second part of the Bubbly Bulletin about reserve wines. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story about one particular champagne brand called Charles Heidsieck. Now, Charles Heidsieck is not to be confused with Piper Heidsieck, or Piper Heidsieck as the French call it. It's the same company but a different brand, nor to be confused with Heidsieck Monopole, which is a completely different company, completely different champagne altogether. Now, the reason I'm talking about Charles Heidsieck is that it was recently voted the world's #1 non-vintage champagne by a panel of experts in Finland. Now, these type of lists and rankings come out pretty regularly, so you don't have to agree with them entirely, you don't have to treat them as gospel, but they're a useful guideline anyway. And Charles Heidsieck is definitely worth trying. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the history of Charles Heidsieck. If memory serves me correctly, the company started in 1795, but it wasn't until 1851 that it really came to fame, when to the helm of the company came a gentleman called Charles Camille Heidsieck. Now, Camille in French is a man's name. We're not talking about a lady, it's not Camilla, but Charles Camille Heidsieck. He was the salesman par excellence. He travelled around the world doing a fantastic job of selling his champagne, particularly in the States, selling hundreds of thousands of bottles, which in those days was a heck of an achievement. Such was his charisma and his personality that he became known as Champagne Charlie, and he was the original Champagne Charlie. Now, after him, the company had its ups and downs, as they all do, and when we came fast forward to the 1980s, the champagne house was just another average champagne house. But then a gentleman called Daniel Thibault was appointed as the head winemaker at Charles Heidsieck, and he was really passionate about improving the quality, and he felt that the way to do it was to improve the amount of reserve wines that went into the blend. The trouble with this is that to get your stock of reserve wines, you have to keep them for years and years in order to have them at your disposal, and that means not selling them, not putting them in your champagne blend and selling them. So he went to the owners of the company. It had just been bought by the Rémy Cointreau group of Rémy Martin Cognac and Cointreau Liqueur fame, and he persuaded them that this was a great policy, and they agreed to go along with it. So for many years they accepted a drop in sales in order to build up the stock of reserve wines. Then in 1992, out Daniel Thibault came with his first champagne using this new philosophy. It was 60% wine from the 1991 harvest, and as much as 40% of reserve wines, but not just 1 year old or 2 years old. He went back 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years with his reserve wines, and they really brought an extra dimension to the non-vintage champagne, more depth, more greater range of aromas and flavours, and of course this met with great success, and Charles Heidsieck began to make a real name for himself. Unfortunately, Daniel Thibault died quite early in 2002, but not before he'd won the Sparkling Wine Maker of the Year award on at least one occasion, and possibly more. So, if you haven't tried Charles Heidsieck, please get yourself a bottle, it's worth trying, and the great beauty of it, of course, is that because it's not as well known as the Moets, the Veuve Clicquots, the Tétingers and the others of this world, you're going to find that it's 10 to 15% less expensive for, arguably, if you like that particular style, better quality. So well worth trying, and that's an illustration of the influence and the importance of reserve wines. So I hope you liked it, and thank you very much. And one last thing, if you want to read that story about the ranking of the wine, go to my blog www.debatabubble.com, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Thanks, and see you soon.